Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Ammar bin Abdullah. My metric number is 1190524. Today and my two other friends. Today we are going to present comparison cybersecurity within countries. Alright. I will present the cybersecurity in Estonia, and my friend Hakim Mustafa will present in Lithuania, and Hakim Yusuf will present in Brunei. First of all, let me tell the definition of cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is a practice of defending your networks, system, and application from cyber threats. Okay, next we go to each country.
Right, here we go to the cyber attack in Lithuania. Cybersecurity incidents rose by 25% last year, and the number of incidents related to the spread of malware jumped by as much as 49%. Then 700 attacks were detected last year, including one of the biggest attacks carried out in December 2020. Now I will explain a little bit about hybrid attack. Hybrid attacks are a kind of cyber attack where the perpetrator blends two or more kinds of tools to carry out the assault. A typical hybrid attack is one that merges a dictionary attack and a brute force attack. The former would contain a list of potentially known credential matches, which is word list. Then the latter would apply a brute force attack upon each possible match. Alright, we go back in track. During the attack, cyber criminals breached multiple content management systems to gain access to 22 different websites operated by Lithuania's public sector. The attackers then posted 3 types of fake news articles. Among the fake news posted by the threat actors was a story that alleged a Polish diplomat carrying illegal drugs, weapons, and money had been detained at the Lithuanian border. This fictitious story was shared on the website on the Border Guard Service (VSAT). Alright, according to the article in InfoSecurity magazine, Lithuania's defense minister described the digital assault as one of the biggest and most complex cyber attacks to hit the Republic in recent years. Following the attacks, Defense Ministry's National Cybersecurity Center (NKSC) has submitted a number of cybersecurity recommendations to municipalities. These include actively searching for vulnerabilities, limiting access to content management systems, installing a firewall, and avoiding the use of passwords that are easy to guess. Alright, now we talk about cyber law in Lithuania, Article 13 Cybersecurity Information Network. We go to the 3 parts. The first is purpose, the second one is authorization, and the last one is service. Okay, for the first one, the purpose of cybersecurity network is to share information about potential or past cyber incidents, also recommendations, orders, technical solutions, and other measures which help assure cybersecurity and cooperation among the members of the cybersecurity information network in the field of cybersecurity. Second one is authorization. The cybersecurity information network can be used solely by those cybersecurity entities which meet the requirements set forth in the regulations of the cybersecurity information network. The last one is service. The cybersecurity information network serves to announce relevant contact information of persons or departments assigned by cybersecurity entities responsible for organization of cybersecurity and management of cyber incidents.
Now, let's go to the next country, which is Brunei. In 2018, Brunei has recorded a 39% surge in cyber attacks. So, the head of Brunei take a serious action to strengthen their country's cyber security. What is Brunei? Brunei is Brunei Computer Emergency Response Team. Brunei was established in 2004 as the national CERT to deal with computer-related and internet-related security incidents in Brunei. Next, in 2018, we can see that the most common cyber attacks in Brunei is malicious logic. Malicious logic is a set of instructions that cause a site security policy to be violated. It will rob its victims of productivity and jeopardize every organization's information security and infrastructure. Furthermore, in Brunei, there are a high number of scams where cyber criminals target citizens in sharing their privacy information. So now let's see how this country handle this huge problem. So Brunei Darussalam National Cybersecurity Framework was completed in 2007. Brunei National Cybersecurity Framework is a set of voluntary standards, guidelines, and processes that organizations can use to reduce the risk of cybersecurity threats. Their objective is to coordinate all cybersecurity-related efforts and risk mitigation from multiple cyber-related agencies. The next step is Brunei strengthen enforcement to ensure the country and the people are always protected. The last one is establishment of cybercrime focus group to ensure that the law complies with international standards. Now we will see about cyber law in Brunei. In Cyber Wellness Profile Brunei, there is a law related to cybercrime. In 1.1.1 criminal legislation, specific legislation on cybercrime has been enacted through the following instruments: Computer Misuse Act, Penal Code, and Copyright Act. Then in 1.1.2 Regulation and Compliance, specific legislation and regulation related to cybersecurity has been enacted through the following instruments such as Broadcasting Notification, Internet Code of Practice Notification, and Electronic Transaction Act.
Alright, next, how a cyber attack transformed in Estonia. For your information, Estonia was one of the first countries to be targeted by modern type of hybrid warfare, which is cyber attacks, information warfare, and fake news about 10 years ago. Let me share the latest story about um, Estonia. In 1947, the Soviet authorities launched the Bronze Army, originally called the Stalin Liberation Monument. For Russian speakers in Estonia, he represented the USSR's victory over Nazism. But for ethnic Estonians, Red Army soldiers were not liberators. They are seen as occupiers, and the bronze soldier is a painful symbol of half a century of Soviet operation. From 27 April 2007, Estonia was also hit by major cyber attacks, which in some cases lasted weeks. 10 years after the attacks, the bronze soldier is still a reminder how much Estonia's complicated past can disrupt the present. Right, next is cyber law towards network and system in Estonia. First is intimidation and violence. There have been no physical attacks against bloggers or online journalists in Estonia. So, online discussions are sometimes inflammatory. Second one is technical attacks. In 2008, the government adopted a 5-year cybersecurity strategy to protect the country from future assaults. Next, prosecution and detentions for online prosecution and detention for online activities. There were no cases of prosecution or detentions for online activities during the coverage period. And the last one is legal environment. In July 2012, the Ministry of Justice initiated proceedings to amend Section 151 and 152 of the Penal Code, which would lead to a new legal norm regarding hate speech related legislation in Estonia.
Here we go to the penalties comparison between Lithuania, Brunei, and Estonia. Which one is strict and which one is loose? Now we go one by one for this country. The first one is Lithuania. According to the Code on Administrative Offences, failure to follow the cybersecurity law may result in administrative liability, which cybercrime may result in criminal liability such as community service, fines, restriction of liberty, arrest or imprisonment for up to 3 years in accordance with the criminal code. Then the maximum administrative fine for a breach of the cybersecurity law is €1,448 and €5,792 for repeated offences. This fine is imposed on the Chief Executive Officer. Okay, now we go to the Brunei. Okay, the wrongdoing is unauthorized access to computer material. Subject to subsection, any person who knowingly causes a computer to perform any function for the purpose of securing access without authority to any program or data held in any computer is guilty of an offence and liable of conviction to a fine not exceeding $5,000, imprisonment for a term not exceeding 2 years, or both, and in case of a second or subsequent conviction, to a fine not exceeding $10,000, imprisonment for a term not exceeding 3 years, or both. Okay, last one is Estonia. Okay, the wrongdoing is unlawful use of computer system or computer network by way of removing a code, password, or other protective measure is punishable by a pecuniary punishment. Okay, the same act if it causes significant damage or is committed by using a state secret or computer system or computer network containing information prescribed for official use only, is punishable by a pecuniary punishment for up to 3 years imprisonment. After going through one by one with the similar wrongdoing between Lithuania, Brunei, and Estonia, we conclude that Brunei's penalty is more strict compared to the others. The fine is highest among the countries, and the offenders are likely to be imprisoned not exceeding 3 years instead of just fine. Estonia's law is loose compared to the others because pecuniary punishment is not clearly stated amount and the same as others to the country, which offenders might to be imprisoned for up to 3 years. That's all.
So now we will go to the nakli and akli that related to cyber law. So in this hadith, man ra'a minkum munkaran falyughayyirhu biyadihi. The meaning is whoever of you sees wrong being committed, let him change it with his hand. In this context, hand means power, like a power of a government to strengthen the law. The authorities must use their powers to keep the peace of the country from all dangers such as cybercrime.